Like as we started to creep higher, we saw zeros at the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Now, people often
I
say to
do.
me, "Oh, people will always ask me that. Oh, there's zeros at the top, there's zeros at the bottom. Like, which way do I go?" Well, that's a different framework. That's the bolt breakout blueprint framework, right? But
Right.
when you're talking specifically about reading footprint charts, where you need to understand the bid and ask, you then want to evaluate the delta based off what the numbers are telling you, the aggressive sellers versus aggressive buyers. You then take the delta and understand who is being more aggressive inside the level, and then you detect zeros. Typically in the opposite direction to where you're trading. So if you want to trade upwards, if you want to buy, you actually want to see
Yeah.
zeros at the bottom. So it's kind of, think of it as like the market is, we call it a finished auction. Now you may have heard me
Right.
talk about this before, finished auction.
Yeah.
A finished auction, you want to think of it very literally as, okay, in all these places here, the market broke higher on one occasion, two occasion, three occasion, but we had all these zeros, which means that the market kind of is an interesting trading there. It's finished trading there. It's a finished auction. Hence why you have a zero. That's one way to look at it.
Question for you.
Yep.
Because we can't see limit orders.
No.
So a finished auction, if there are no more market buyers, then no more sellers could happen. No more selling can happen without a buyer being present. Is that right?
Yeah, so this is the bolt breakup. Can I explain that when we look at the bolt?
Of course, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to understand really from a delta perspective.
Yeah.
Is really what I'm trying to ask is when I'm detecting zeros, I'm trying to understand what is happening then. I get that there's no buyers there. There are aggressive sellers there. But then what causes the upward movement?
Good question.
Is it because
Yep. Can I answer that in the bolt breaker? I'm going to get to that.
absolutely,
I just want to go in order, because going in order is very important. Once we've got good trade positioning, we then want to read price, or we want to have an understanding of how to use footprint charts to our advantage. That's what the price is, right? That's what we do with price. So what we've essentially done is we've gone around in the reading framework where we've understood the bid and ask, evaluated the delta, assess aggression, detect zeros. Now from here, the next thing we'd go for is the proof. It's the proof. So here we have proof. Proof is we use the trap framework. So the trap allows us to then execute with the bolt. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go straight to the bolt, because this is my execution time frame. So if we look at the bolt, right? I think I broke this down step by step. Did I? I'm pretty sure I did. So I made a. Okay, I definitely made a. So yeah, this one. So what we're looking for is, this is the bolt breakout blueprint, right? So what we're looking for is the following. So let me just do this. So let me just break down today's trade. And also the biggest lesson is, you don't want to, there we go. So you don't want to kind of ignore today's trade or today's level. And I'll show you why at the end. So basically what we can see here is this. There we go. So I'm going to answer your question right now. So if you just take a look at this image here versus this image here. Now, hopefully you can see, because you have experience with ATAS now, these two charts are actually the same.
Yes, they are.
They're very much the same, right? Believe it or not. So what we're looking at now is we are trying to understand the entry from the lens of the bolt breakup blueprint. So the reason I talk about the bolt breakup blueprint is because that is the framework you want to repeat and burn into your brain when you're looking to execute on any time frame. So now from here, let's break this down. So what does the bolt stand for? Break. We want to see a break. Now, my rule of thumb when it comes to looking for a break is it needs to be at least one candle, and it needs to have a body. A body does need to close outside of the zone. I don't feel comfortable using wicks to do it. It needs to be a body. So that's
a full body or a partial body or a full body.
It doesn't. It can be a partial body. Yeah.
Okay.
So now from here,
as long as it's a full and not a doji or just a wick